I wanted a home for my kids and my grandkids, and I also wanted a home as a legacy to leave something to my children. As a single mom working a full and a part-time job, affordable housing just isn't as available as some people think. So I circled a home, and for 3 years I prayed. Working at Caroline County Public Schools, Dr. Calverick had asked me, had I heard of a grant that Habitat received to build 10 homes in 2 years. She noted that they were looking for qualifying families. She said, "This is for you, Lisa." And I thought on it, and I thought, with my past, my financial past, they're gonna look at me and laugh. And I thought, no, I'm not gonna even get turned down again. So I just didn't apply. And then she wouldn't let it go. A few days later, she'd come back in and say, "Have you applied yet?" And I would say, "No." And then I told my mom about it, and I talked to Reverend Moen about it, and everybody kept saying, "You need to apply, you need to apply." And I was like, no. I just didn't believe in myself or the process. She said, "Just call and ask." Dr. Calverick did. And so I did. I called and spoke to Jason, and his calming tone and his positive demeanor, he said, "No matter what the problem is, we'll fix it. We'll help you get there." And so that gave me a glimmer of hope that maybe this could be a reality. It was then that I applied to see if in fact I could be a homeowner. With a few documents and a few explanations, I was approved. In the Bible, Mark 11:24 says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours." I could not be here today for not the love and support of my family, my coworkers at Caroline County Public Schools, my County Line Baptist Church family, all the volunteers that I've begged for and over Facebook, and Lord, thank you for Facebook, and my wonderful Caroline community, all of you. My circled prayer has been answered. I am here today as a homeowner, and now I have another new family, my Habitat family. I am so grateful to each of you and humbled to be a part of this program.
This is not a social experiment that you see here. This is a biblical principle. When Jesus was asked what is the 2 greatest commandments, he says to love God and love your neighbor. Well, just look around, and you'll see in this crowd a community. And so when a community comes together with a biblical principle, this is what happens. Now, this self-help has to be experienced. And so I'm one of the wonderful guys that get to experience all of it, right? So this year was kind of funny because we were out there working, and one of the volunteers was raising a wall. And one of the homeowners came to me and go, "Billy Joe over there is like, his deodorant has failed a little bit." And I said, that's what sweat equity smells like. And then I saw, I'm going to blame you, Lisa, but you were at the end of a hot day. It was a young lady was sitting on a pile of material, and it exhausted, just totally exhausted. Sweat pouring off. It was a 100-degree day, and that same worker came to me and said, "Is she okay?" I said, "Well, that's what sweat equity feels like." And today we're standing here because you can see what sweat equity looks like. And it's when a community come together, and with the partnership of rural development and Habitat comes together, and a community, comes together. So that biblical principle of neighbor joining with neighbor, this is what happens. And there are more blessings than just houses. You see, I look around, I was looking for a young man, but one of the local builders, Gary Watts, saw one of the blueprints of the houses, and he was impressed with the blueprints. You can't find really good blueprints anymore. And he was impressed. Well, it was a high school student that was part of a team that did the blueprints. And so we talked about it. Well, lo and behold, Mr. Watts hired this young man. As he got his diploma, he walked right off the stage into a job a year ago with G.H. Watts Construction. And so through the connection of Habitat for Humanity, a lot more happens than just houses. I think I've counted 8 different jobs that people have made the connection and was able to be hired because of their affiliation with what was going on out here. And so I get to see all the good stuff that happens behind the scenes. I get to see the vendors that support us. I get to see a black church and a white church come together in our warehouse, and in a single day, they built all the walls for one house, and just had a good time. This is what we call unity in the community. And so I see people coming out every Saturday. God bless Lisa. She just begs and borrows from people and always hounds them. But we have good lunches, every Saturday. So I get to see the sheriff department come out. Sometimes they leave and their smiles are just a little different. But I get to see that. I get to see the school board as they come out. I saw a group from Germanna. A bunch of young women come out and had a great time putting siding on. We have people from Capital One come out. We've had, I think, 9 different churches that come out and be a part of the building. So you see, I truly get to see our community, the community I grew up in and did business in, come together and to do these jobs, these houses.
In the world we live in, to see such positivity, people coming together from all walks of life, and it really is amazing. And I just want to encourage everybody, turn off the news and come out to a Habitat for Humanity site if you want to see what the real world is about. And just so grateful for the board. Round Oak, thank you, Pastor David, for your church as well. There's just been so many people that have helped here. John Mahoney, who couldn't make it this evening, he has really been somebody, if I ever write a book, I got to have a whole chapter devoted to him, because he really has been instrumental in this. And one thing he's always said is, and I'll quote him here, he's always said, somebody said, how are you going to fight crime? He said, well, the best thing is housing and education. And that really is the truth. If you look back, over the history of our nation since World War II, most of the wealth that has been built from middle class and lower income households has been through homeownership. And it really is probably one of the most proven methods to make a better society, a more equitable and just society. Because you know what? This is America. People can think whatever they want. But when you have resources available to you, you have choices and you can do whatever you want. And that's what I love about this program. That's one of the big differences between a traditional program through a habitat model and this. And I said I couldn't say it, but I always got something to say. But one of the things I love about this versus the traditional habitat model, and why I really pursued partnership with the USDA, is the wealth it builds. Guys, for a traditional habitat home, homeowners don't get that equity until they've paid off their home. And so it's great to have affordable payment, right? But I believe in choice, and I believe in freedoms. And what I love about this is, let's say Vicki gets a job offer 2 years from now. She can sell her home, cash out her equity, and she can go and do what's best for her and her family. That's why I love this program, and that's why I want to encourage you, whether you're going to go through the habitat model or not, check out the USDA programs, the 502 loans. If you live in a rural community in Caroline, you can make up to $72,000 and qualify for this loan. And the goal is to make sure your payment's never more than 30% of your household income. They also have a great repair program too, a 504 program. And so I just want to say that without the USDA, without your team, Jeannie, none of this would happen. And it's exciting to get to work with you guys. And she's so passionate about housing, and I love working with people like that. So thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Durante. Durante has been just my right-hand guy. Before he came on staff, he was a volunteer. Me and him and Stephanie and some others, we wrote the grant. And, you know, this is something that I'm very proud of, and I'm very proud of my team.